All right, this is 4.3, calculating area of 2D shapes. For this, we're actually going to use formulas for a few different shapes. Let's understand some definitions first. The word parallel is when two or more lines are always the same distance apart. An example of that would be railroad tracks, train tracks. Okay, they never cross. If they did, your train would derail. Okay, that's what the word parallel means. All right, try these. Match each shape name with a formula for its area. Well, if you're not sure, you can always go to the back of the book where the formulas are. Okay, but I've got these memorized, so 1/2 base times height, that is the formula for a triangle. 1/2 the sum, which means to add, the word sum means to add, the addition of the parallel lengths times the height, that's a trapezoid, and the base times the height, that is the formula for calculating the area of a parallel. Okay, so you can see over here, there's the base times the height, 1/2 base times height, that's our triangle. For the base times the height, that's our parallelogram, and for the trapezoid, we've got a base here, and we've got a base here. They're parallel lengths, times their height, divided by 2, that's our parallelogram. Okay, so let's do an example here. Adrian wants to carpet 2 rectangular bedrooms. One bedroom measures 12 feet by 16 feet. The other measures 10 feet by 12 feet. How much carpet does Adrian need to buy? Well, what is the area of each room? Well, the area of a rectangle is equal to length times the width. So with the first one, it's just 12 times 16. Okay, and if you want, you can use your calculator and do 12 times 16. And we get an answer of 192. So we have 192 square feet. The next room is 10 by 12. 10 times 12, well, that's easy. That's just 120. Okay, so what is the total area? Okay, well, 192 plus 120 is 312 square feet. We have to put units down, feet squared. So Adrian needs to buy 312 square feet of carpet. Okay, example number 1. Berry bushes are being planted on a triangular piece of land to stop soil erosion. Each bush is planted in 1 square yard of ground area. Okay, so according to our diagram over here, 1 square represents 1 square yard, so it's basically 3 feet by 3 feet. Each bush is planted in 1 square yard of ground area. How many bushes are needed? 1 square yard, 1 square represents 1 square yard, so the solution. What are the approximate dimensions of the triangle? The height. Well, we know that the height of a triangle is the perpendicular distance from the base, which is right here, to the vertex, which is right here. So we're going to draw a straight line here. It must form a 90-degree angle. Okay, so the height in yards would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the height. The base is about, well, let's say it goes from here to here. We could say the base is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is about 8 yards. So the area of the triangle is the base times height divided by 2. Okay, which is 7 yards times 8 yards divided by 2, which is 56 divided by 2. And if you can't figure that out, just take your calculator, do 56 divided by 2, and we get 28. So it's approximately 28 square yards. So about 28 berry bushes are needed. Okay, very simple calculation. Practical example. Let's do example number 2. Awad is a sheet metal specialist. He cut a piece of sheet metal in the shape of a parallelogram. As you can see to the right, there's our parallelogram. Then he cut out a circle so that a 5-inch pipe can fit through. What area of the shape remains to the nearest square inch? Well, very simple. We want to calculate what area means. If we were to find the area of the parallelogram, right here, and we were to subtract the area of the circle, we would have all the space that's left over. Okay, so we need to calculate the area of the parallelogram. Well, the area of the parallelogram is equal to the base times the height. We know the base is 15.2, and we know the height is 9.8. Again, it's from the vertex perpendicular to the base, forming a 90-degree angle. Okay, it's not the length of the side, it's the perpendicular height. 9.8. Okay, so we'll take our calculator. And we will take 15.2, multiply that by 9.8, and we get an answer of 148.96. 148.96 square inches. The area of the circle is pi r squared. Well, the radius is, now is that our diameter on there? Okay, that 5 inches is our diameter across the circle. The radius is half of that, and half of 5 is 2.5. Okay, so the area of the circle is equal to pi times the radius, which is 2.5 squared. Okay, you have to realize that this 5 is the diameter, not the radius. So let's take our calculator, and let's take pi. Let's multiply that by 2.5 squared. I get an answer of 19.63. 19.63 square inches. Okay? Area of the remaining shape is just equal to the area of the parallelogram. Subtract the area of the circle, so it's going to be 148.96 square inches. Subtract 19.63 square inches. We can take our calculator and do that. 148.96 subtract 19.63, we get an answer of 129.33. 129.33 square inches. The area of the remaining shape is about 129 square inches or inches squared. Okay? Example 3. Beverly bought a square rug for her home office. The label on the rug says it covers 240.5 or 240.5 square feet. What are the dimensions of the rug? Well, you have to understand the key word here is square. And by definition, what is a square? It means it has equal length sides. The length is the same as the width. Okay? How can you use the formula for area of a square to calculate the length of a side? Well, we know the length of a side is S. So the area of a square is S squared. Okay, so we know that we have 240.5 square feet, that's S squared. So to calculate the length of one side, to get rid of this exponent squared, we take the square root of this number. So we just put in the square root of 240.5. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we have to find the square root symbol. Okay, the square root symbol is above my x squared symbol, but I have to hit the second function, so I hit second function, and I get square root. I put in 240.5, and I hit enter, and I get an answer of 15.508, so I'm going to say 15.5. It's approximately 15.5 feet. So what are the dimensions of the rug? How precise will you be? It's about, it's really close to this, 15.5 feet by, because it's a square, 15.5 feet. That's a big rug. Okay? Fills a big room. How can you check your answer? Well, you just take 15.5, you multiply that again by 15.5, and or square it, or you can just take 15.5 and you can square it. Okay, and that way we can check our answer. So let's just take 15.5 and let's square it and see how close we get to 240.5. 240.25, so we're really close. Okay, so that's how you can check your answer. Okay, so that's all there is for 4.3. And so go ahead and do the practice.